Ladies and gentlemen, my name is Totalbiscuit. I'm here to ask and answer one simple question. WTF is Intrusion 2. Intrusion 2 is the sequel to a game by the name of Intrusion. Truly, my knowledge abounds. Bow before me and accept the riches. Whatever the case, this is created by a single guy. His company is called VAP, and he is indeed Russian, as you can probably tell by the fact that there is an English and Russian option. I can never quite pronounce that, and I probably should learn to at some point. If I was to pronounce it phonetically based on what was on the screen, I think it would be Pekin, which sounds like some kind of Antarctic wildfowl. Whatever the case, Intrusion 2... it reminds me very much of Gunstar Heroes, or indeed, if we were to go pretty damn far back in the PC library, a game by the name of Abuse, which was one of those platformers where you had independent control of your weapon using the mouse and then moved around with the keyboard. It was very cool indeed. Now, originally, this was a Flash game, and this guy spent 3 years on his own. This is a one-man development creating Intrusion 2. The question is, however, is it any good? Well, that is a very good question, isn't it? So let's give it a try, shall we? I've gone through the first level and got on to the second for you. So let's go there, and here we go. This appears to involve riding a wolf. I approve of this, so let's rock and or roll, shall we? Alright, so controls are as you would expect, W, A, S, and D. You can also use the gamepad. I don't really know why you would. I mean, this kind of game, as far as I'm concerned, works a hell of a lot better with the mouse and keyboard because it allows for more accurate aiming, and oh god, there's a squid. Alright, I guess we're fighting the squid then. So, I don't have many weapons at the moment, but I do have a railgun, which is always nice to have. I tend to find. Gun him down as best we can, thank you very much. Grab that health. Now, you may notice that health pickups are just rolling around the place. Why is that? Well, the game actually does have a physics system within it, which is a curious choice, honestly. I'm still trying to figure out whether or not it was actually a good idea to put the physics system into the game. Does it actually benefit the game in any respect? I mean, right here, I would love to get up there, but I can't quite get high enough. Perhaps I can push this along in order to gain access to that area. I've got this giant log on my head at the moment. The problem is that since you have to physically push objects around, the physics system gets a little bit wonky at times. In fact, more often than not, it gets a little bit wonky. Now, it can result in some pretty cool moments, like you can collapse snow on top of people, you can throw logs, you can roll rocks, indeed, you can even stand on top of trees and they bend around, which is, I mean, that's pretty damn cool when you think about it. This came from a Flash game, and it's got a fully functional physics system, and a pretty damn good, as far as I can tell, Abuse/Contra/Gunstar Heroes style of thing. You know what I'd really love is to grab that, but unfortunately the game does not allow me to do that. I think it might even be possible to actually push this off here and flatten whoever's beneath. It also results in power-ups getting stuck underneath large items of debris. I don't know if that's a deliberate feature or if it's just flat-out irritating. I'm trying to figure that one out. Gunplay is, wow, it's so Gunstar Heroes it hurts, and there's nothing wrong with that at all, I might add. If you're gonna ape a game, you might as well ape one of the best platform shooters of all time. Absolutely incredible game, as I recall correctly. Now we shall fight the squid. Enemy variety seems to be fairly reasonable, although I have noticed that, certainly in the first and second level, enemies are really sparse, which actually surprises me quite a lot. You can ride the squid into the atmosphere, though, which is a rather cool feature. I expected, I think, more combat, and maybe it's because there's these physicsy style... is that even a word? It is now. Physicsy style platform elements and an occasional physics puzzle every now and again that breaks up the pace of the action. Now, I don't know if I want that from a game like this. Also, I would really like to get that supply crate, but the stuff's stuck all over it. So, it's kind of... the pacing is all off, in my opinion, as a result of this. Like, I need to get this sodding thing moved out of the way, but I would love to say, oh, you can just pick it up. But no, you can't. You can usually shoot things out of the way, but that's not always the case. Alright, let's get a move on, shall we? The areas of the game where there's actually flat-out combat work pretty damn well, as far as I'm concerned. You can take cover behind boxes, you can push them around. The enemy AI is surprisingly reasonable most of the time. It actually takes cover behind boxes, as you saw right there, which is kind of super useful. It doesn't aim in a predictable fashion, so this is not your old man's Contra. You've got to figure things out for yourself and actually avoid bullets that are coming at you rather than just flat-out ducking, which usually doesn't do the job. There's some reasonably good music in the background. The problem I've got with it is that the music is... it's rather repetitive. Oh, wow. Really? Wow, okay. Another reason why physics can be construed as bad at times. I'm gonna have to make my way through this again. Alright, well, I guess we're fighting Squiddo over here again. Who was wielding rather menacingly that log. He's actually stuck behind the log. This is unlikely. This is very, very unlikely to happen. Realism is not the priority at this stage. That is not a problem. Gameplay-wise, I think, as janky as the physics is every now and again, I think actually it results in some pretty funny moments, and I think over the last few months, there's this realization that I've come to that I would rather have a rough game that has some really cool moments in it than a really well-polished game that is far too clinical. People might say, oh, well, the bugs in Skyrim, the fact that you had bears flying all over the place and crazy stuff like that, that's bad. It's like, well, no, it's memorable. Games don't have to be perfect. In fact, actually, games that are diamonds in the rough, or indeed just rough diamonds in general, are actually, more often than not, some of the most enjoyable experiences you'll get in gaming. So, I don't really mind so much. I'm okay with that. Alright, let's get the railgun out. Other weapons include double pistols, or if you run out of ammo for that, you go to a single pistol, which is infinite ammunition. What I'd like to be able to do, which you can't seem to do as far as I can tell, is switch to a single pistol with the unlimited ammo to break supply crates and stuff like that. You can't actually do that, so you have to waste ammunition even with the double pistols in order to get what's in the supply crates. I'm not 100% keen on that. Once again, we've got dead boss monsters actually getting in the way, although I think I prefer that, certainly, to boss monsters just disappearing out of nowhere. It's like, hey, I just gunned down this massive, great, stonking iron squid thingy. Surely it would actually leave some kind of imprint on the battlefield, and indeed, in this game it actually does. Even soldiers do. I'm going to stand on his face, because why not? You know, for a one-man production, it's actually very easy to see why this game would be impressive. However, I've got to say that from a consumer standpoint, whether or not it's a one-man game isn't actually all that relevant to you as the consumer, is it? I mean, is that something that you take into account? Maybe, maybe not. I think as someone that looks at games and commentates and critiques them, I've got to take that kind of thing into account. You know, it's very important from an analytical standpoint to say, well, you know, was this game made for a budget of 300 million by 400 extremely talented and experienced devs, or was this made by a single guy over the course of 3 years in his bedroom? And in this case, it is, of course, the latter. But from a consumer standpoint, you're looking for a good game, you actually don't really care, do you? I'd be very surprised if you did. Alright, there's a guy and a wolf. This is unusual, to say the least. Can I steal his wolf? I would quite like to steal his wolf. He's trying to eat me at the moment. Inexplicably, the guy on the wolf seems to be a lot tougher than very, very similar-looking guys I was fighting earlier. There we go. In. Alright, I'm riding a wolf. This game suddenly got a little bit more awesome. It's a giant wolf, man. Why the hell not? The controls on the wolf, they're a bit weird. The way that he moves his legs around is bizarre. It's probably all tied into the whole physics system this game actually has, but you can climb up walls, and I think by the looks of it, you can eat people, so I don't disapprove of the wolf riding segment by any stretch of the imagination. A little bit of Metal Slug kind of stuff going on here. This is cool. This is seriously cool. And now, suddenly, all the enemies come in. It's like, hey, you're riding a giant wolf? All right, we're going to come say hello, because you know what? That's a kind of a neat thing to watch, isn't it? It's a once-in-a-lifetime experience to see the giant wolf come around. Here you go. Just eating everything. Oh, man. You know, from a development standpoint, if I knew a single line of code, I'd probably be super impressed by what this guy's managed to achieve on his own. And as a game, it's actually really fun. It genuinely is. It's got its moments of what the hell is this doing here? Why is this here? Oh god, this is just irritating. But at the end of the day, I'm also riding a giant wolf and fighting robotic squid in the sky, which is something that most games don't allow me to do, and I very much approve of that. Unfortunately, the wolf doesn't seem to have an easy way of getting all this crap out of the way, because I'd love to get the gun. Why is that system in there? It's like I spend more ammo breaking my way through the squid limbs in order to get the gun in the first place. Alright, wolf versus wolf combat. Because why not? Because why not? Now, if we were to talk price point, this game is $10 regardless of where you happen to be. So, whatever your local exchange rate is, you can buy it on his website. If you happen to pay attention to the Indie Fort bundle that was on Gamersgate, chances are you've already got this game. Maybe you didn't even realize it. Maybe you didn't even play it, in which case, don't be an idiot. Give it a try. It's actually kind of fun. But the question is 9 levels of this worth $10? Well, that's not something I can answer. That's something you'll have to answer for yourself, I am afraid, because, as you might imagine, pretty much everyone's got a different idea of what things are worth. Let's collapse this, because why not? It's fun. But why is my wolf moving like that? This is one of those weird wolves that was outcast from its pack, as it walked like an idiot. Very much the Monty Python definition of a wolf. There we go. Music in the background's a little bit repetitive, isn't it? But, I mean, it's good. It's just, like, it's the same track over and over again for each level. There's a different track, I think, on a level-by-level basis, as far as I can tell, but still, it's not what I'd call varied, to say the least. Can I actually railgun through that and kill him? Apparently not. Oh, well, never mind. My wolf can take the majority of the brunt of this damage. In fact, the wolf, like, seems to take no damage at all. He gives no dams. Here you go. Very nice, very nice. I shall use the railgun. Just get off the bloody God. Oh, what? Wolf. Seriously, Wolf. $10 for 9 levels of this. There is a hard mode. It's apparently not that hard, so I'm told. This is on normal. I have only died once due to my own incompetence, which actually involved me getting flattened, as you saw earlier. That, I think that's a laser rifle. Perhaps. Can I pick it up? No, it's slightly under snoke. There we go. Wonderful. No, it's probably just the railgun by the looks of it. I'm slightly disappointed by the fact that it was just the railgun. Alright, let's get on there. No! There we go. No! Get me on the sodding wolf. Good. Quick jump and hop. There we go. Wonderful, wonderful. Well, I think it's going to come down to your own personal opinion. Is this the kind of game that you've been looking for a while? Do you want a Gunstar Heroes Abuse Contra-style game with a pretty cool art style? And it does have a pretty cool art style, actually. It feels like hand-drawn in some respects. It's pleasantly pixely. I think that's a deliberate aesthetic choice rather than it just being a bad-looking game. Like, I wanted it to look a little bit old school. I made this deliberate decision to make it look a bit retro. That's fine. That's okay, as long as it's an aesthetic and not the fact that you just don't have the talent to create something like this. I mean, this guy is obviously supremely talented when it comes to game development. But $10 for a game like this with 9 levels, a few hours of enjoyment, good for you, not good for you? Well, that's going to be up to you. Personally, I'm having a bunch of fun with it, honestly. I'm surprised by it. I'm constantly amused by bits of it that don't quite work right, and that actually adds a nice little bit of clumsy charm to the game. In a world where everything is polished to a mirror shine and you're constantly forced to go through tutorial after tutorial because Lord knows it would be terrible if you ran into something in the game that you weren't fully prepared for, this is a bit of a breath of fresh air, honestly. Wolf jousting breath of fresh air. It's difficult to complain about the amount of crazy action that's going on at the moment. It's difficult to complain about the crazy nonsense physics system that doesn't quite work the way it's supposed to, but it's still a bunch of fun regardless. I'd say, every now and again there's part of the game that makes me think, well, why the hell is this even here? This is just in the way, it's irritating, it's a complete pain in the ass, quite frankly. The way that power-ups get stuck under items, the way that it's a little bit awkward just to push things around. But for the most part, it's a good laugh. It really is quite fun. I'm having a little bit of a blast with it. I'll probably try and finish this, actually, because this, man, when I played some fairly limited Mega Drive games back in the day, and this really was back in the day, I had to go over to a friend's house to play Mega Drive/Genesis games because we just didn't have one. I used to play all my stuff on a PC, and I didn't have access to stuff like Gunstar Heroes, and when I originally played it, I found it super impressive, and I still do, because I think that's one of the best examples of this genre to this very day, and as much as I would love to get access to that, it doesn't look like I can get up there anytime soon. And this game gives me some really good vibes for Gunstar Heroes, it really does. It's a really nice tribute, I suppose. And I assume that's what he was aiming for. If he was aiming for that, he succeeded. If he wasn't aiming for that, well, he succeeded in making a pretty damn reasonable game regardless, so can hardly complain. The wolf. Oh, okay, Derp Wolf, let's go. Just push it over there. You know you can do that. I have no idea what was under there, but it got horribly, horribly flattened. I want to try and keep playing so I can find a boss fight of some sort. If I don't get to fight a boss while on this wolf, then I will be very, very disappointed. Supposedly, there are also mechs in this game. I watched the trailer, and there was a mech with a sword, a mech with a giant cannon. Very metal slug. And it looked pretty damn fantastic. Oh, no, get off. There you go, have some of that. Sorry. I can't even get back on the wolf because there's bits of the octopus on it. Get out of the way. It seems like everything in this game puts stuff in your way, and it's almost fighting against the physics system in order to get where you need to go. It's legitimate to criticize the physics system and the way that things like the wolf actually move. It really is. I mean, how would it not be a legitimate criticism? But I don't think it doesn't really cause problems for me as a gamer. It doesn't make the game less fun. In fact, in many ways, it makes it more fun in a weird kind of respect. Oh, that railgun's fun to use as well. I think maybe I criticize lack of weapons, because in the feature set it says there are only 5 weapons available. It's obvious that each weapon actually has a use. Using the railgun there, and speaking of irritants, once again, can't really gain access to this. If I shoot it enough, it'll decide to move. Gonna go with a no. God. Oh, well. Why is the physics system here? I don't know, but... yeah, it's clunky. It's janky. It's got problems. Still a bunch of fun, though. And I guess that's the most important thing at the end of the day. I can say whatever I like from a journalistic standpoint of, oh, you know, this shouldn't be here, and oh, from a mechanical standpoint, this should be better than it is, but I'm still having fun with it. Isn't that really what matters? I certainly hope so. If you're not all about having fun in your games, then why the hell are you playing them to begin with? Alright, well, since I have... oh, never mind, looks like I got to the next level. I was hoping there'd actually be a boss or something. Maybe there is. Ooh, well, there's a bunch of supply crates here, so I have a sneaking suspicion that there might actually be a boss coming up, so let's break the supply crates. If not, what I'm going to do is I'm going to keep playing until I find a boss fight, and then we're going to skip ahead and watch it, because... well, the wolf refuses to... oh, hello. Well, that qualifies. Okay. I was going to say, where's its weak points, but it doesn't actually seem to have any at the moment. So I guess I just try and kill everything that comes out of it, and... oh, nope. Down we go. Is he going to follow me? Yes, he is. Alright. Okay, folks, we found a boss fight. The wolf didn't want to fight, and I can hardly blame him. Ooh, I don't know what that is, but it's awesome. Well, seems like some kind of assault rifle of some description. Let's try and get around that. Guess I've used all the ammo for that gun. Oh, that kills you instantly. Well, that sucks. Didn't tell me that. Oh well. I guess we deal with it. Alright, have some more of that. Let's try not to fall off of that this time. At least he can use his bullets to get what's in the snow out of there. There's some cool stuff, like if you keep rolling with the snow, then it actually creates a larger snowball, which is neat. I guess it's just the gun that takes damage here, and this is actually kicking my ass. Holy hell. It's not messing around, folks. Not at all. Now, if I recall correctly, you can just keep respawning, but you only have 3 lives that count as high score attempts, so if you're looking for high score, well, you can't do it if you fail too hard, so I guess that makes sense. Let's focus on the gun. There we go. That's a nice little bit of character there. This is a good boss fight, actually. It's well designed, it's well animated. I can't find its weak spot now. I guess I'm just dodging, maybe, until it gets another gun. Alright, going into the next stage of it as well. I like the way that it collapses the terrain in order to extend the battlefield and get you into new areas. That's neat. Big fan of that. Here, you can have one of those and one of those. Thank you very much. At least ammo for this seems to be relatively plentiful. Alright, so I guess this booster is its weak point this time around. Not a problem. Try and take that out and not take too much damage from these guys. I want your rifle. Your rifle is awesome. Aim for the booster. There we go. Switch over to the big rifle, which deals mega damage. Unfortunately has no ammo whatsoever. Sup? Hey! Every game should have a railgun. That's just a fact. I don't care what game it is. Hell, if it's FIFA 2013, should have a railgun. Nope. He's really not very happy about that, is he? Well, I guess we're going to get flattened a little bit. Keep an eye on the ground. Dodge that, dodge that. Nice bit of old school pattern recognition, folks. Hopefully not a lost art for most of you. Oh, come on, really? A bunch of bloody rocks. Alright, what is doing damage to me this time? Okay, I guess it's spawning more soldiers, fine. You can even do damage by jumping on them, which is weird. Alright. Wee bit of Mario going on. Let's have more ammo for that. Where's its weak point? Does it even have one? Boosters at the back? Yeah, that would make sense. Well, I guess I'm at... What? That was interesting, to say the least. Not a great spot to be in, I suppose. Well, I'm running out of ammo for guns that don't suck, so... I guess I really shouldn't be using the railgun in this way. Alright, I'll pick that up a little bit later. Grab his weapon, Focus fire on the boosters for a while. Switch over to the railgun to deal with them. Not a bad little shot, if I do say so myself. Let's not waste the railgun. We can finish these folks off momentarily. Yoink. Alright, good gun. I want more of good gun. Seems to do fantastic damage. Thing is getting a little bit stressful. Oh, he's not happy about that either. Good. That's what I like to see. How long does this boss fight go on for? It's nice that there's an epic fight, though. That's what I was looking for. I didn't want to be disappointed by the first boss, and, well, I'm not. It's really well designed. It's a multi-phase boss fight with a ton of cool stuff going on it. Really awesome pacing. The physics system doesn't get in the way. I'm impressed. I really am. You know, one guy made this. One guy. Huh. Guess there's hope for the industry after all. Alright. I would love to have what's in those boxes. Is he dead? Did I get him? No, not quite yet. He's still pissy. I love the way he's just dragging himself around. That's so cool. There's a lot of creativity in this boss fight. One guy did this. God, I feel, quite frankly, impotent in comparison. I'm gonna get pushed off the edge of the level by him here, aren't I? Alright, let's get what's in the crate, come on. Was that ammo for something good? No! I guess not. SMG it shall be. Oh, that's gonna hurt. And it knocked me off the side of the level, didn't it? Yes, it did. I'm beating this guy. Sorry, we're going to get a little bit overly determined now as a result. Has to happen. This guy's going down. I want to see what happens when he dies. I'm hoping it'll be suitably awesome in comparison to the rest of the stuff we've seen so far. These little monsters are quite nice as well. There's little roller droids that come along. You can't actually damage them while they're rolling around, but you can jump on them and ride them around, which is kind of neat. You can definitely see why the physics system was put in here, even if it only works about half the time. Come on. Why don't you smash that and give me what's inside? There we go. I think that was one of its boosters flying across there. That's some pretty sick attention to detail. Alright. More damage, more damage. Do I have a good gun? Nope. Nope. Alright, stuck with the SMG. Alright, we'll make do. We'll make do with what we have. Alright, oh, that's the first pilot taken out. Alright, so that's the pattern. Okay. Basic pattern recognition, a skill that I thankfully haven't quite lost. And there we go, boss is down. Well, folks, Intrusion 2, currently available from the website in the description below this video for $10. Now, yeah. Somehow, I should have seen that coming. This game makes me smile, folks. One guy made this. I'll see you next time.